Hello everybody, I would like to welcome you here to our discussion with Mark, who is the owner of landscaping and gardening company in England. So before you introduce yourself, would you please tell people who don't know the difference between landscaping and gardening? What's the difference?
Different between the gardening and landscaping, I would say the gardening is mainly concerned about care about the plants, planting, care about the trees, and mainly this stuff. Landscaping is mainly if you want change your garden, if you want basically change the layout on the garden. Landscaping means change the landscape of the ground.
So how many years have you been doing this job? Tell us something about your company, about your experience, what do you do, and how long have you been here working this job?
17 years ago with my wife we decided to go to UK and mainly to learn English. I never say I'm gonna after 17 years still providing or still stay in the UK, but I really found the passion in the job we're doing to change the garden and make the space more magic for the people. And still 15 years basically I'm working as a gardener and landscaper, and I'm running this company. And in that 15 years it was really nice trip and very interest way how I found the passion in changing someone's backyard.
Yeah. So in these 15 years, can you say approximately how many clients you've had already?
At the moment we have over 1,000 clients in our database, but it's just for last 8 years, because the first year I never pick up or never saved the customers. But I found how important it is to have the database of clients, probably 8 years, for over 8 years, over 1,000 customers at the moment.
And so these customers are active customers or passive customers, so how would you define them?
There is both. I would say probably active is about 400 customers active, which every year getting back to us. And the rest of the customers probably when we do the campaign and if they find something what they need, so we provide them. But the active is about 400, somewhere between 400 to 500 customers.
And you are established in which part of the UK?
We're working in London. We are based in Woodford Green, which is northeast of the London, and that's the area. Mainly we are concentrated about the city garden, so small size and mid-size garden.
Okay, that's interesting. So you are planning on doing an online course for the viewers to basically teach them some things. So can you say or tell them what exactly is your plan for this online course? What are you planning? What topics are you planning to do?
In the 15 years, I've seen so many mistakes made on the gardening and landscaping jobs, and I'm always upset if I'm asked to come and see the job which basically is being done by the Cowboys, and the people are so upset. Basically they lost the money. Many times they lost even the passion for changing something, because many of these Cowboys, especially in these days, trying to rip you off, and mainly for the reason because everyone knows how the economic situation, everything coming, not just in the UK but mainly in all the world. So I always happy when I can help, if I can advise my clients and they like my ideas. And many times when I'm leaving our first meeting, that's basically my energy. When I know I help these guys and they love my ideas, they my experience and skills. So mainly this course, what I'm working on for more than a year, is mainly for the people who try to landscape their garden first time, to avoid all the mistakes, because there is so many, I'm saying, the bombs waiting on the way before you get your magic space. And so many of the clients even don't know where to start, and that's one of the common mistakes. So this is something what I really like to help them and give them the advice.
You mentioned Cowboys. What does it mean, Cowboys? In
Cowboys is mainly, I think, in the UK, they calling the people who don't have experience, but many of them just see the video on YouTube and they think they can lay new turf for the clients, they can build the fence, build the paving, and many times the people, they can lay the paving, they can from the end it looks nice, but just for a while time it's unexperienced people.
So basically it looks good, but the quality is not as it should be.
Quality, it's it's many times they cutting the corners, don't know what to do in the stages, how to do it proper way, because the garden is supposed to be made someone who have the skills. Many times I'm saying even the customer, the builder is not the landscaper. Builder have the skills to working inside the building, so he know the technologies, he know the materials, how they works, but outside of the garden they don't have experience. And many times even the paving, they slope a wrong way, they don't add a drainage channel, so many times the water slope back to house, close to house, and making the water damage on the property. So my advice is not to use the builder who don't have experience working outside. The same like I would never take the job inside the house, even if I know how to do the job, but I never take, because end of the day it's not my part of the job and I'm not an expert.
So basically you want to, through the online course, to teach people how to choose a good landscaper or gardener. What other topics are you planning to do in the online course?
In my course there is five main points, and I'm starting with the design. Many times I see the problem in the design, the people starting with very simple design, and it's mainly the paving, and the rest of the garden they want just the grass area, and I think it's a low maintenance garden. From my opinion, that's one of the mistake. They choose the design which doesn't suit their needs, and if you don't design your garden the right way, end of the day you finish with the garden which you don't like. So end of the day you have a space which you're not using, and then you're starting to finding the way how much does it cost you end of the day. Like you're paying for the garden maintenance company. In these days it's somewhere around £60 per hour. So even if you do maintenance every 2 weeks, it costs you £120, and per year it's more than £1,000.
Yeah, you said you're going to do 5 topics. So one of the topics is, as you said, how to choose the design. What other things is like in your topics? What are the other 4 topics?
The other one is materials. So many times I see the mistake with the materials which doesn't match each other. And many times the material is one of the topics which choose if you are in the budget or if you are not. Very good thing in a design, or not in a design, in a landscaping, is to start from the back side. So you know how looks your garden at the end of the day, and then you start to find what material you're gonna use to match the design you like. So if you can see even the modern garden, which right from the beginning you see it's gonna cost you 1,000, you still can find the material which are cheaper but have the same layout. So even the same color, maybe cheaper type of the slabs, but end of the day it might look the same, nice, like if you go for. So material is really important to choose, and mainly if you're planning to landscape your garden in the budget.
So the first topic would be how to choose your designer, how to choose your landscape or gardening company. The other thing is how to choose materials that may look the same as expensive ones, but can be on lower budget. What other topics are there?
The other one, very important, is to choose right contractor, because I would say that's major thing on the landscaping project. If you get a good skilled landscaper with the experience, he might give you all this knowledge and all this advice before you start landscaping. Because so many times the clients ask me if you do the decking, and they see me opposite to working on the garden, for example, trim the edges, and I say, yeah, we do the landscaping, but can you imagine, like, if they meet someone who don't have that experience, and it's for him difficult to get the job and need the money, and say, okay, yeah, we know. So probably the main thing what he do is gonna go on the YouTube, find how to do the decking, but end of the day there is so many other things which might affect the quality of the work. So yeah, to find a skilled landscaper is quite difficult in these days if you don't know which way you should go and what to see. There is so many other things as well, because you can find the good skill landscaper either if you know the recommendation, but you have to know how many recommendations you have and if the recommendations are really approvable. So they know this is guy who have the recommendation, he have website, he have his company address somewhere in case. And another thing is, which is quite important, if you get a good landscaper, so in the future whatever happen on the project, he will come back and he can fix it. And it happened to us so many times where we have to go there. For example, we done last project, we have to add more than half meter of new soil. And in one corner where we have a difficulty to compact properly, it sink about probably 1 feet. So when the customer call me, always we come back, we're gonna fix it and make it right. So many Cowboys, they just take your money and then you're not gonna see them at all, you know. And that's another very good point, to have really someone who can manage, repair the job. And even in the future, if you wanna build something extra on your garden, so you have a person who is reliable and you can trust him.
So the first topic is the design, how to choose the design which is suitable to your own landscape or your own garden. The other one is basically how to choose materials. The third thing that you said, that it's good how to choose the right company. And the other topics?
The other one, it's gonna be the estimate. It's really important to understand the estimate, how it works. Many times, and many times on the beginning, when I send the estimate, many times I write just the paving and the cost, for example, 2,000 pounds for the job. End of the day, now I know it's important to even describe what is it involved in that item. So I mean, like if you do the sub base, you should know at least 10-15 centimeters to compact properly, so you avoid the mistake and it's not gonna sink later on. So to understand the quotation, mainly the quotation, it's your proof, whatever happened. And if you have the paper, you can later on, if you know you're working with the Cowboys, you can take them to the court and somehow get your money back. If your quotation is not written properly, and if you don't know how to read the quotation properly, later on you might have a problem to get the money back from these guys.
Yes. That's very important, because basically you can have something cheap, but in the end it will cost you much more in the future.
Many times, the company, they increase the cost, and only for the reason because it wasn't in the quotation. Let me give you the example. One day the clients asked me to build him raised flower beds from sleepers. So when I came first time, we've been talking about what all he wanted plants in that flower beds. He said he want the fruit trees, he want the vegetable, he want some nice shrubs. But we never finish exactly what is gonna be where. So we built him raised flower beds. But end of the day, he came to me when we finished the work and asked me, okay, but I thought it's gonna be include the soil. I told him, yeah, we've been talking about the soil as well, but because we didn't choose what plants, so I didn't add to my quotation the soil as well. End of the day, we finish with the good deal, basically win for both us, because I supply my guys and he supplied the soil for the plants he bought. But if you imagine, if you have someone who say, no, but it's not in the quotation, it's not countable, and you have to pay extra £500 for labor and plus the new soil. So it's really important to know how to read the quotation and understand, mainly from the quotation, which one is the cheapest price. You know, many times I see the problem. The people get the quotation, and end of the day they just read the final cost, but they don't know what is involved. For example, if you take two companies, one of the company will provide you with the quotation for £2,000, the other one for 2.5. But end of the day, the quotation for 2.5 might be cheaper only because they have more square meter each. And so many times the customer, they don't read how many square meter is counted or is chargeable. You know, so really it's important to know how to read the quotation, know what's the difference between cheaper and more expensive. The final price is not that's what I'm concerned. Really, the insight that, like you're saying, the small words is more important.
The small lettering that people don't like to read. Yes. So basically, this is the fourth topic. What's the fifth, last one?
This one, I'm gonna concentrate on how to build it and basically the checklist what they should be aware. Many times the problem might start not in the middle, but nearly before they finish. The final touch, it's very important, and basically all that process. So in the beginning, if you have a company and they start with the garden deconstruction and they don't have a skip there, for any reason, either the supplying company failed or they couldn't manage, so you will see the company start to stuck somewhere. And if you see there is a problem, the company have a problem to deliver the material, deliver the skip, then you can start to be more aware how to proceed this problem. Because the end of the day, when the contractor is pushed by the time, he start to cutting the corners. And it happened to us in 15 years many times when we came to the point where we said, okay guys, we have to do something, be more flexible, but without cutting the corners, on this project. It's really important to me. My name is for me really important to see my client and say, okay, this probably we done the mistake, but we will come and we're gonna fix it. And this might be the problem with the Cowboys, because once you get the people who find out they done a mistake somewhere, either maybe they done the wrong calculation, maybe they underestimate the time on the project, so you should be more aware, okay, are they going the right way, or now they do the best to finish the project and just get paid money and run away, even if the project doesn't make the quality of the work,
So basically at the beginning they can seem to work very nicely, very well, with high quality, but afterwards something will be pushing them to basically cut costs, or maybe time schedule isn't working, so they start to lack and slack. And in this guide, basically, I want to tell them the examples what happened to us, mainly from the beginning, because now I'm taking the time and really trying to do the best to not underestimating my time, because very important in landscaping project for the good finish is to have a time. If you have a time, so you can concentrate even on the small details, and the small details make a perfect landscaping job perfect. So basically, in general, we can say that it's very important to give the client a longer period of time for work and surprise them by finishing earlier than putting a tight budget or a tight time schedule where basically you will not be able to make it, and then there will be some problems because of other things, right?
Exactly. What I see as I can split the clients for, say, few different types of the people. One of them is the clients who don't know absolutely nothing about the landscaping, even don't know where to start. These clients have the highest risk of to getting the Cowboys, because these guys, they can talk to an hours. Nothing is for them problem. The main thing for them is to take the deposit. As soon as they have a deposit, many times, because I'm on many gardening groups, many times I see the problem, someone took the deposit and supposed to start, for example, in a week, and then starting the excuses.
Okay.
So for these guys, it's really take your money and then slowly, try to rip you off. End of the day, you finish depressed and and
demotivated, basically.
demotivated.
So, when you are, explaining to people in this course all these points, can you tell us just a sample of experience of stories, how people chose a company? Because usually people choose a company either for their pricings, because it's lower prices. You said that it's always better to choose a higher price, but depending on the quality, it's more better because in the future they will have to pay more to fix it, etc. What are your stories? What you've experienced, something interesting that you've noticed when you came to fix some gardens? What are the biggest mistakes that people make?
I would say there is more, but one of the biggest mistake is many clients go for cheapest price. And it's really important to know where is the board between the cheapest price if you're choosing from a skilled landscaper and the cheapest price where you get someone who you can find his recommendation. Maybe he can show you the photos of the job he's done, which he might download from somewhere. And in this course I'm gonna show you how to read in between the lines.
Yes. So to be careful of what seems nice, what looks nice, but in the end is not as nice as it on the paper, because the paper can take anything.
Yeah. So many times, even from the photo, I can see if is a good quality builder or not. Just to see his photo on maybe his website. Very important for me is to go to Google, just Google the company. That's the people don't do. And many times you type the name of the contractor and straight away you get a bad recommendation. So what is very easy, simple way. Second one is to see his feedbacks, to ratings, for example. I remember one of the top rated platform on a checkered rate, and I believe many clients, they know the checkered rate, and the checkered rate for me works really well. He supplied me the work. We are one of the top rated company, landscaping company. I think there is over 110 ratings now, and for me it's really important to keep my high standard and high level. But many platforms, they don't do this system so sophisticated and so proofable. Many times if you go to yellow pages, I don't say there is not good and skilled companies, but many of these companies, they have 10 ratings in 10 years. I have 110 over 3 or 4 years. I think I remember of the checkered rate, I have 110. So if I have to choose the contractor, definitely the main thing what I would check is if the company is if the company have the base somewhere where you can find them, whatever happen. If the company have the rating, what kind of the rating? I would like to see the photos, of his job, and from the photo I can see if it's good or not. There is few things you can check even from the photo, and so many times to give a call to customer. And another very important thing is even the liability insurance. If you imagine you going to landscape someone's garden and you have a big tree basically which you won't take out for any reason, you want to build there something, and you start to cutting the trees, big trees, and the branch will drop on your shed or it damage your property. Who will take the responsibility? Many times this company just pack their tools and you're never gonna see them. And can you imagine the big branch of the tree will drop on your house, and there is gonna be the process of the system. So from the space, from magic space you thought you're gonna get, end of the day you get the troubles and the money you have to pay to fix it. So liability insurance is really important, and there is so many other things which I'm gonna talk about, but this one is probably one of the main one which I would concern if I'm gonna choose the right contractor for my project.
So basically, your online course is not only about your company and advertising for your company, because this is not that most important thing. It is to teach people. It doesn't matter if they choose you, but to teach people how to choose the right company for their landscape or for their garden, and to teach them the steps that are very important. These days, I think in every kind of service, it seems that clients need to be a little bit more educated about what they, because before you could, you ordered the company and you didn't think about it because most of them were quality or high quality. These days, everybody, all of us need to know at least something about everything. It's like either building a house or building a garden or whatever service there is. So you're trying to teach people how to be in the end satisfied and giving a good budget and basically how to take care of your garden. And in the end, the question is, when is it good to choose a constructor? When is it good to choose a landscape or gardening company? And when is it good to just do it on your own?
Yes, this course is my 15 years experience, my fails, my mistakes, my misunderstanding. And this is the way how I would landscape my garden if I'm living in the UK and I have to choose the contractor and make my space magic. The thing is, if you don't fall in love with your garden, end of the day you're not gonna get patient and you just pay the maintenance company, and I think it's wasted money. Mm-hmm. You should create a space you want to spend outside. It's many times coming from just the main question, like for who is the garden made, occupant, who is the occupant, how much time you want to spend there, when is the windy space, when is the sunny space, and the disposition of the layout. So really, this course is mainly for the people to help them right on the beginning if they don't know where to start, if they don't know what material to use, how to find a skilled contractor, how to choose the right price for their project to be not ripped off, but even many times ripped off, but to find the right balance between good quality and the value.
And the value and the budget. So when is it good to do your garden on your own? I mean, because many people these days, because of what you said, they don't want to invest the money because they think they will be ripped off. They don't know how to find somebody. Is it good for people to do their own gardens or their own landscaping?
Yeah, I believe there are the people who can manage some of the part of their project and basically save the money. I believe many people, they can do the reconstruction, like from the jungle, clean the jungle, they can save maybe £500-600 on the labor cost. I believe there are the people who can even manage the turfing, there is nothing difficult as soon as you know the steps how to do it. But the important is for these people to do their homework, mm-hmm. To be prepared for this landscaping. Many clients, when I came there, I had a feeling like all what they need just get someone and get it built. But every season, for example, landscape between 10 to 15 projects, depends on the size. And not all of them, not all the customer we are able to do, because over the season we get over 50, 60 new requirements. And as I said, we are able to maybe 10, 15 of them. So many of them will find someone else. And many times these people, they are in the risk to find someone who don't have that experience, and mainly what he wants, basically just take the money. They should know the balance between real price, where you can really do it, because if every company have to make the profit. So they should know where is the barrier between, okay, these guys are skilled, he have the cheapest quote, I'm gonna afford that, or these guys I can't really trust, I'm not gonna risk and not gonna pay them because they might be so risky and they're so frustrated.
So you would recommend that if somebody's doing their own garden or their own landscaping, they need to do their homework, but to do their homework, even if they're going to do it on their own or finding a company that would do it, right? It's like a balance.
This course is mainly for the people who want someone to do this project for them, mainly to find the right person, but it starts even from the design, as I said in the beginning, because many times if you mix apple with the oranges, you might get two completely different estimates.
Yes, I understand.
And the cheaper one, end of the day, might be more expensive than the others.
Yes. So let's finish with like a story where you basically experienced that the worst or funniest situation that you, in your experience, that you've had.
Funniest experience, I would say, start not funny, but start with the client where we're providing the maintenance last 15 years. He asked me to repave his garden because the first time, it was maybe 10 years ago, he asked me to repave his garden and the cost for him was too high. So he found someone else, and right on the beginning, while the guys finished the job, I seen the job doesn't stay right for more than maybe 3, 4, 5 years, you know, because I seen where they cut the corners. And it was last year when he asked me to do it again, like if I can provide the quotation, basically take all the slab out and put a new one. So I went there again, I told him I think price somewhere around £5,000, and again he told me the same story, it's too much for me, you know. And this time he finished even worse because the first day when I came, it was just one big disaster. There wasn't the drainage channel, all the water was sloped to his house, which caused the damp-proof problem. And this is something what I would advise these people. Like, if you really don't want to pay twice, maybe this guy even third time pay for the bad job, you know. Just do your homework, do it right way, take advice from someone who have the knowledge, and in that course I'll put all my 15 years, there is not any hidden secrets, there is all from my backstage to help these people. I really love if I go somewhere on a meeting and these guys, they absolutely amazed from my advice, you know. So many times even the disposition of the garden, I remember there was, I think about a half year ago when I came to see the clients, and she had a big jacuzzi on in the middle of the paving, and say, okay, Mike, we will not change it, the jacuzzi doesn't work in here, where shall we put it? And she even didn't see the space behind the corner, because jacuzzi is space where you want to have a more privacy, you know. So I told them, okay, look, here is idle space behind the corner, just do it there, maybe a small pergola over with small canopy, like if you want to have more privacy. And this is what I feel the people need, that advice. They need to lead to space really they enjoy. Yes,
and many times it is that we need to have different eyes, somebody else to see the garden in a different view, because we see the garden somehow, and we do not have this overview. And when somebody else comes who has experience and seen a lot of gardens and seen a lot of landscapes, he can see, or she can see, you know, a different perspective. You know, so yes. But in the end, the online course is something for, as you said, for the beginners or people who want to avoid problems, want to avoid mistakes. And in the end, there are a lot of good companies on the market. You're not the only one. That's why you're doing it. So for people how to choose any other company, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be you. So any other company on the market that will give them not only the good pricing, but also high quality. And as you said, the after maintenance, right? Because that's very important.
There is so many, I believe there is so many good skill builders. I'm a member of many gardening groups on Facebook, and I see amazing works. And this course is mainly to choose the right, choose a skilled landscaper in between the Cowboys. Because there is so many, and if you want avoid all the mistake. It's the same thing like if you're going to buy the car. If you are someone who have if you are 4 members in your family, probably you're not going to buy a sport car with 2-seater.
Yes.
You know, and many times the mistake is when I'm going to see the client, they want the paving, the rest of the garden is going to be the grass, and I feel like you buying the lorry as your family car, because you can manage 4 people to transport from A to B in the lorry as well, but end of the day you have the space on behind which use maybe once a year.
Yes.
You know, so it's really important to know what design suits your needs.
So to basically fit it to a personality and to the space, right? Yeah. All right. Perfect. When do you think this online course will be finished? What are your plans? How are you?
My target is by end of the Christmas. I believe for many people it's gonna be nice present. You know, if you know your friends or someone who had bad experience with the Cowboys, now you get him nice present to make it the right way and avoid the mistake. And that's so expensive to do it twice. You know, like this saying, if you think my expenses is too high, so you don't know how much is if you get Cowboys and they're gonna do it cheap.
Yes, and sometimes we think we do it once but cheap, but in the end we have to do it more times to fix. And fixing things are much more expensive than creating it at the beginning in the best way, with high quality. Okay, so you're saying you are going to finish the course by the end of, or till Christmas, or by Christmas 2022, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
That's my target.
Yes, so good
So
luck.
I hope it's gonna be nice present for you, and if you think you need advice, and if you want to create a space which makes feel you happy, your kids, your friends, depends for who is gonna be made. So I think this is the answer.
Well, we would like to wish Mark good luck, and I hope that we all will see you at the online course as soon as possible. So enjoy your day, and thank you very much, Mark. It was very inspirational. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Bye-bye.